All right, we can start with questions down here. Guys, if you're ready. Isaiah, you ready?
Yep.
Cool, perfect.
What kind of went into your process into deciding to come back?
The main thing was I just believe in Coach Freeman, and I just believe in the whole team. Like, we can actually win a national championship, and I believe that we can actually do that. And the best thing, just best of both worlds, I can come back, develop as a defensive player, not just as a pass rusher, but as an all-around defensive player. But I feel like this team could really win a national championship. That's the main reason why I came back.
And then did he have to fit you much on that?
Not really. He mentioned it. He mentioned that this is going to be a team that can really win a national championship under him. But I already knew what our potentials could be and what it will be at the end of the season.
And then I guess did Elston's leaving kind of surprise you at all? And I guess how's the defensive line room kind of taking that?
It did surprise us. It surprised that he left, but he did mention it like around Tuesday. It was like 3 or 4 days before he left that it was a possibility that he would leave, but it's not guaranteed. But like when he officially announced, it wasn't a surprise since we felt like it was going to happen. But I'm always like happy. I'm happy for him that he's going to Michigan, and it's just like a fresh new start. But I'm always happy for him. He's my guy.
And then just specifically to your game, I guess where's the biggest area of focus for you over the next, 8 months?
Biggest focus just being an all-around defensive player, not just pass rush. Everyone sees that I can get to the quarterback, but I want to really emphasize that I can stop the run, hold the edge, make plays, make a lot more TFLs, and of course just make more sacks than I did this year. But like another good reason why I came back too, I was close to the sack record, 13 and a half. I got 11 this year, so get another run at that.
Isaiah, you've had some time under your belt with Coach Freeman now as the head coach. Kind of give me just, your first impressions. You played a game under him. Talk to me a little bit about what it's been like to have him now be your head coach.
He was the first guy when Coach Kelly left. I wanted Coach Freeman to be head coach, but that's my guy. The whole defense, all the players already have like a really good relationship with him since he was like defense coordinator. Who became the head coach, but all defense players are on board with him being head coach. But Coach Freeman, he's my guy. He's a real players coach, and I love him.
I noticed how much you smile when you talk about him. What are you most excited for your first full year under Coach Freeman?
I'm just excited where he can bring this team. I already know bringing in a lot more coaching staffs, hiring more and more people. We don't know who our D-line coach or defensive coordinator is, but the people that he's bringing in, like Coach Mason coming in, he's building more and more people to make a national titleship run.
We won't reflect too much on the Fiesta Bowl. I know you guys probably don't want to talk about it much, but one of the bright sides to maybe coming out of that game is a little bit of an extra added motivation, extra chip on your shoulder for next year. Do you feel that way, Paul?
Yeah, I do feel that way. Leaving that game, I just felt like I had to come back. I can't leave leave my Notre Dame experience off of like a bad note, even though, yeah, that was a pretty bad game to end off on. But I can't leave Notre Dame with that bad taste in my mouth. So I had to come back and make another run at it.
Last question for you. A lot of teams start their season with, maybe a not so tough game. You guys are going up against an Ohio State team that will more than likely be a top 5, maybe top 10 team in the country. Quite a tough test to start off the gate. How are you guys going to prepare compared to last year when you guys faced an unranked Florida State team?
We're going to prepare our butts off the whole week going to Ohio State. But everyone has a chip on the shoulder. Coach Freeman, especially since he's an alumni from there, and we're just going to prepare our butts off for that game. We already know it's going to be a big game that we're going to have to prepare a lot for. Just bring our best game for it.
All right, we're going to Zoom for questions now. Tyler James, go right ahead.
Isaiah, you said you guys don't know you defensive coordinator, defensive line coach. I'm curious from your standpoint as a defensive lineman, what are your concerns and priorities in terms of what that defensive coordinator needs to prioritize in terms of putting together the defense?
I already feel like Coach Freeman has like a good idea of what a defensive coordinator should be and who his identity is going to be. But I feel like Coach Freeman is going to find someone that has the same identity, same thinking that he did as defensive coordinator. And I would like the same defense as I was able to produce and get production off of the defense. But whoever he finds, I feel like it's going to be the same defense that he came in with.
And what do you think it says about the program that so many guys like yourself decided to come back? I know obviously some guys did choose to go into the draft, but it seems like more than not, guys decided to come back. What do you think that says about where this program is at?
it means a lot. Everyone has the same mentality, same thinking that I do, that this team can be the team that can go to win a national championship. And the people that are coming back, they know they can be leaders that can lead us to the national championship.
Thanks, Isaiah.
All right, Len Clark, you're up next. Go ahead, Len.
Isaiah, a couple of questions. The first on continuity. When Marcus Freeman was hired, they talked about the continuity and retaining the coaches. But with some of the changes, is that going to be an obstacle as you go into spring camp?
I feel like it won't be that big of an obstacle since we have like some people still here, like Coach O'Leary, Coach Mickens, Coach Freeman being head coach. I feel like it won't be that big of a change because if we have new coaches, yeah, but we basically have all the same players, only some players left being seniors and going to the draft. But we still have the same, pretty much almost the same D-line with Myron and Kirk gone. But I feel like it won't be that big of a change since we always still have the players here.
And my second question, in terms of leadership, you're coming back, you are going to be perceived as a leader. What will your goals be in terms of tutoring the up-and-coming players on the roster?
I'm always a player. I'm always a person that leads by example, but I just learned a couple of days ago, but leading by example is just the minimum that you can do. So I'm going to try to be more assertive type of leader and not just be a leader with people just down next to me, but be a leader for the whole entire team.
Thank you.
All right, Isaiah, you're all set. You can head on upstairs.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Yep, no problem.
Brandon, what's up, man? How you doing? Good, good, good. So obviously your first time doing it here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have people ask questions in the room first, so you can look at them as you're answering your questions, and then we'll do questions on Zoom. And then you can look at the camera.
Sounds good.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, room, go right ahead with questions.
Brandon, I guess how's your first couple weeks been on campus?
It's been great, man. Coming from Chicago, it's just cold a little bit, but that's nothing I'm not used to. Getting to know these guys, getting to meet everyone in the Notre Dame community has been great. It's been a great few weeks.
And then has anyone kind of taken you under their wing specifically or anything like that?
Yeah, I knew Houston. He was from Chicago, so I worked out with him a few times in Chicago. And then the twins, Jayson and Justin, those are some of the early guys I've been talking to. Excited to know more of these guys on the defense and continue to grow the relationships with my teammates.
And then I probably had a couple workouts. I guess have you noticed the difference under Matt Bayless?
Oh yeah, Matt Bayless is the real deal. I mean, he's one of the reasons I decided to come here. I wanted to develop myself to be the best player I could possibly be, and I think a strength coach like Coach Bayless is going to be exactly what I need.
Brandon, obviously you had a lot of options for where to go. I know you talked about a couple of the reasons already, but can you kind of tell us what was some of the motivating factors that brought you to Notre Dame?
Yeah, I came to Notre Dame to maximize my potential. I think joining a defense, an elite defense like this, having a piece like me that is they're returning 18 starters and losing a guy like Kyle. So I think a guy like me stepping in and filling in the piece of the puzzle is exactly what we need to take this place to the next level.
Obviously, coming in here, you know about Marcus Freeman coming in his first year as head coach. How much of a factor was he in making your decision to come here?
Oh, a huge factor. The night I entered the portal, or the day I entered the portal, I was on the phone with Coach Freeman that night. And like I said, he told me that they're returning 18, and I see that they're the number 5 team in the country. So I'm so excited to join. Coach Freeman has been great to me since I've been here.
Just safe to say, those are pretty pitch work done.
100%.
You still gonna be rocking number 16, or what's the number situation?
Yeah, as of now, I'm wearing number 16. So it's looking like 16's been my number since high school. I wore it sophomore year, and it's stuck to me. It's been treating me pretty nice ever since then.
Supposed to be behind the number or anything, or just a good number?
I mean, I'll tell you the fun story behind it. I was in high school and joined varsity kind of late my sophomore year, and they only gave me a few numbers left. I was originally number 1 before, and then 16 was kind of the last number left. I stuck with it, and I was able to get it again in college, and it just treated me pretty nice. So I had to stay with it.
All right, we're gonna go to Zoom now. Len Clark, go right ahead.
And a couple of questions. First of all, if you can, describe your play and your work ethic in the film room and just how you approach football.
For sure. I mean, I consider myself a leader in whatever room, whatever environment I'm in. I'm a ball hawking safety. When I'm on the back end, I believe that my abilities shine, and I can cover, and I can be one of the best players out on that field at all times. That's my mindset. And I think that my goal is to stay calm and collective at all times and just be able to be the best player I can for my teammates.
A lot of expectations for you to come in and make an immediate impact. Just talk about that coming into the Notre Dame program and what your personal expectations are.
For sure. I mean, the expectations are there because of my past. And I mean, I put them on myself too. I expect to be one of the best players in the country, and to join a team like Notre Dame, I think that's how I'm going to be able to maximize on that. And so I hold myself to as high as a standard as all the talk and coming in working with Matt Balis and locking into all the different things I need to improve for myself is how I think I can develop to be the best version of myself.
Thank you.
Tyler James, you're up next. Go ahead, Tyler.
Brandon, what was it about Coach O'Leary that made you believe that he can help improve you?
Oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead. You got cut off, my bad.
Brandon, what was it about Coach O'Leary that convinced you that he could improve you as a safety?
Coach O'Leary has coached players like Kyle Hamilton, has coached the linebacker that's currently playing for the Browns with my boy Greg. So he has his players that he's developed, and I'm excited to join the system. A coach like that has a record, I'm excited to see what he can do with a player like me.
All right, Brandon, you're done down here. You can catch up with Katie upstairs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Keep saying that now. It's your fault.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
You ready to roll? All right. So we're gonna do questions in the room first, so you can look up at everybody as you're answering, and then we'll do questions on Zoom to finish it off.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, room, go right ahead.
I guess what was kind of the basis to come back for another year?
I feel like it's a lot of talent on this team, and I want to be a part of that team. To go out here and leave Notre Dame and leave my legacy, and be a part of the team that wins the national championship. I was just talking upstairs, just watching the national championship this past year. I was watching with Brandon Joseph. We were just talking about, just watching that game and just visualizing us being in that spot in a year from now. So just having that chance to just work on it this offseason, just taking it day by day, having that championship mindset. But then as a personal level, I feel like it's more plays out there for me to make. And honestly, I need to make more plays. So it's something that I just want to work on, just playmaking ability, and just, take it day by day, work on my leadership ability. And one purpose of me coming back, I want to be a captain of this Notre Dame football team. And that's something I talked to Coach Freeman and Coach O'Leary about in coming back. So this offseason, I'm going to work on, having great leadership and just, being on the guys and just staying on them. So, we can go out there and be one of the best defenses, and then also being overall one of the best teams in the country, which I feel like we have the talent to do so.
And then Brandon mentioned that you guys have previously known each other. I guess what's kind of his personality like?
Brandon's a cool guy, we've previously worked out together in Chicago. We work out with one of the same defensive back coaches in Chicago. So, we've had a relationship prior to Notre Dame. And when I figured out he was thinking about coming to Notre Dame, I reached out to him, and, I gave him my little, Notre Dame little spiel or whatever. Like, we can be out there on the field together or whatever. So, I'm excited for the things, Brandon's going to be able to bring to our unit, and bring to our room. So I look forward to, what the safeties are going to do this offseason and what Coach O'Leary is going to help us because, he's got big goals for us. And I feel like we need to go shoot for the stars and, go chase those goals this season.
Just a lot of experience coming back. Most importantly, on defense, what is the most exciting part for defense and kind of the secondary coming back? We look forward to most.
I'm excited because the whole defense is pretty much back, honestly. So, it's room for growth. After the Fiesta Bowl, it didn't go the way we wanted to later on in the game. So, it's something that's going to motivate us all off season. Just going out there and competing and winter workouts, whether that's in the weight room or in the classroom or when we're out here running gases, like it's a competition. And that's the mindset Coach Bayless has instilled in our program and our culture. And that's why I think we've had so much success since I've been at Notre Dame. 10 plus wins every time I've been here. So it doesn't get better than that. So I'm just really excited for what's in the future and, how we're going to attack this 22 season and just, week 1 versus Ohio State. So it should be a very exciting year for us.
Jason, you touched on that week 1 matchup with Ohio State. A lot of teams starting out their season with an easy matchup. You guys are kind of doing the opposite. How are you guys preparing for, instead of an unranked Florida State team, now a top 10 Ohio State team that all eyes will be on this matchup?
We can't even just, every year when we play these unranked teams, like we treat it like a big game because everybody wants to get their big shot versus, Notre Dame. Like we're one of the blue bloods of college football. So to have the opportunity to play against one of the blue bloods in college football is really exciting. I remember as a young kid, my dad working for the Big Ten network, like just seeing the type of players that have came out of Ohio State and then seeing the type of players in recent years that have came out of Notre Dame. So, it's 2 legendary programs that are going to be competing against each other that night. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a very competitive atmosphere. And it should be a really exciting game for us as a program, as the Freeman era begins.
Speaking of the Freeman era, now that you had some time with Marcus Freeman as your head coach, what's been the best thing about having Coach Freeman as your head coach? And, what are some of the differences that you've seen in how he's run, practices, drills, and all those things?
Nothing really has changed. He's got the head coach title, but he's still the same guy. Like he still, makes jokes with us and stuff, but he still keeps it real with us because it's a competitive mindset with him. And that's something he preached with us. He does this whole thing about the golden standard, competitive spirit, unit strength, and challenge everything. And those are 3 things that, he's really challenged our team to understand like what those things mean and how they're going to shape our culture moving forward. So, all bowl prep, it was competitive offense versus defense, whether it was the offense has to kick a field goal or the defense has to kick a field goal. Somebody's going to be a loser. Somebody's going to be the winner. So at the end of the day, you got to outwork the opponent. And that's what we plan on doing. So this spring, playing under Coach Freeman again, it should be very exciting. And I look forward to, what he's got going for us this year.
Last one, I know you mentioned how excited you are. What is the driving factor and most thing that you are most excited for a full year under head coach Marcus Freeman?
Full year under Marcus Freeman?
For the first real full season of Marcus Freeman.
Just a culture, the type of things he brings to this team. And I just remember being in the transfer portal last year and talking to him every single day, just building that relationship. And that's the thing he wants to build a relationship with all his players. Like he doesn't want to know like what you are as a football player. Like he wants to know what you want to do with your life after football. So just understanding like his culture and what he wants to bring and the identity he wants to bring to this program is something that I'm looking really forward to seeing and that I've been able to see from him being my defensive coordinator this past year. So that's honestly my answer right there.
All right, we'll go to
No, you're good.
you'll go to Zoom. Tyler James, go ahead.
Houston, obviously replacing Kyle Hamilton would be difficult, but does the safety room feel different this season with having more guys with experience heading into 2022?
I feel like the safety room is very exciting. It's a bunch of guys that have been able to play, on Saturdays and, they get jitters, we get our jitters out after the first play. So, but honestly, the guys who we all have experience, Ramon Henderson, DJ Brown, Brandon Joseph, and Xavier Watson, myself, we feel like we got a room with a lot of depth. And Coach O'Leary always talks about we need unit strength. And, our safety room, we call ourselves the Hot Boys. So the Hot Boys got a lot of unit strength right now. So I just think we're really excited for the type of team we have. And this offseason, we're just going to work on just working on just being the best safety unit we can be for the 2022 season.
Thanks, Houston.
All right, Houston, you're all set?
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you for being here.
Have a good one.
Any chance that year 7 to try and get all that in the NCAA?
That would be great. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Oh, if he stays, he'll be, oh, okay. I'll have to play. Next year. I feel like I heard about it like 3 years ago.
This is for one of the ones.
Sorry, thank you. I chose the word.
All right, Jason, how you doing?
What's up?
Good. All right. So we're gonna do questions in the room first, so you can look at everybody as they're answering their questions, and then we'll finish up with questions on Zoom. Ready to go?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Obviously, the sling, I guess, what happened with that and.
Yeah, I've been playing. This kind of happened in the beginning of the season, and it didn't slow me down. I've been playing with this throughout the whole season, and it was something where, like, towards the end of the season, I knew I could get it cleaned up if I chose to, and I decided to get my shoulder cleaned up so I can move forward and be an elite player starting next season. Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like it hindered your performance at all?
I didn't let it hinder my performance. I kept on going, kept on pushing through. I felt like it was just something that was going to try to slow me down, but I didn't let it slow me down.
And then obviously you're back. I guess what kind of went into that process and your decision to come back?
Starting first, like the opportunity to come back and speaking with Coach Free and the guys, it was something that got me excited to be around the team, be a leader for this defense, and playing with my brother one more year. And it was something that I felt like it was like committing to Notre Dame again, like I was a freshman, or a high school recruit. So I'm super excited to be back with the guys and super excited for the season moving forward.
And then for the defensive line room, you guys have had a couple ups and downs with Austin potentially going to LSU, then back, and then now to Michigan. I guess, what's that kind of been like for you guys?
We're all supportive of him. We're super happy for his opportunity for him and his family. The guys love him. We all love him. He's been here for us. He recruited up all of us in the room. And he's going back to the school that he played football for. So we're super excited for him and his family. We wish him nothing but the best.
How important of a factor was Marcus Freeman being that coach for you coming back?
It was huge. I would say I met Coach Free last January, and I love him so much. I see a little bit of myself in him. We both love to go to work, and we both just love to be around guys who just love to do the same stuff as us. So Coach Free is a great guy, and I can't wait to play for him next season.
Okay. What are you most excited for the first full real season under Marcus Freeman?
Really, just the high energy. I know we just been with him for bowl prep, and we had really good practices under him. And I'm super excited moving forward. Just the energy he brings to the team, and just the new things. And, it's always cool because, like, sometimes you get adjusted and used to, like, how each coach is. But once you get a new coach, they bring new type of things. So you're just always learning off each and every coach you guys that we get. So it's been a great opportunity.
Go to Zoom. Len Clark, go right ahead.
Jayson, you just talked about new things under Marcus Freeman. Can you talk about, or is there going to be any new things in terms of prep in spring camp? Any new things that he'll bring as opposed to what Brian Kelly did?
I'm not sure because we haven't gotten to spring camp yet, but I know personally the energy he brings to this team. He's really, really competitive, just like the players, and you can see the ball within him. Like, he played college football just like us, and I look at him and he gets me going. And we both went through the same type of things in college, like, and we both love football. We both love the brotherhood, being around the guys and just going to work each and every day. So he's somebody that he's so easy to play with, and we just all love him here.
All right, Tyler James, go. You can go next.
Jayson, as Coach Freeman looks for a defensive coordinator, I'm curious, do you speak up and share your thoughts on what you believe the defense should have in terms of prioritizing the defensive front, or do you have the faith in Coach Freeman that he'll sort of make whatever decision is necessary to get the best out of you guys?
We all got great faith in Coach Freeman. He's our head coach, and he knows what we need to get to the national championship. And he's gonna hire the right guy. And everything he does, the guys are behind him 100%. So we're all excited to wait to see who's our DC.
Was the decision to return easier knowing that Isaiah was coming back and Justin was coming back, and you guys just sort of keep the band together?
Yeah, the decision to return with my brother and Isaiah to come back was great. And just the excitement I have for next season is at an all-time high. Just knowing that like the guys in the room, we love to go at it. We love to get after the football, and we love to play football. We love the game. So like these are my brothers that I've been here with the whole time, and being with the guys in the room and just all of us leading off each other. We can't wait to start up again.
Thanks, Jayson.
Angelo DiCarlo, you're next. Go ahead.
Jayson, how tough was it hearing the news that Mike Elston was departing, and what he's meant to you, maybe personally, as your position coach over the years? And did you have a brief moment there, maybe of second guessing your decision once you heard he was leaving?
Like I said, my decision came from me. Nobody had a factor in my decision, really. It was just a decision that I wanted to come back and be with the guys and lead the guys to win this national championship and put my best foot forward. But Coach Ellison helped me get where I'm at to this point, and the guys love him. We all love him, and we wish nothing but the best for him. And he showed us what it takes to be an elite football player, what it takes to win football games, and we're super, super excited to take what he showed us and keep on having that in our toolbox, and along with whoever our new defensive line coach is going to be, and keep on building on being a great football player.
All right, Jayson, you're all set. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jayson.
Yep.
You too. Ready to roll?
That's right.
Cool. All right, as usual, we're gonna do questions in the room first. You can look at everybody as they're asking their questions, and then we'll finish off with questions on Zoom. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. Room, go ahead.
But when did you make up your mind on your decision to return?
You know, it was kind of after the bowl game, left a pretty sour taste in my mouth, and we considered being able to come back for an opportunity in Notre Dame again. You know, represent Our Lady's University at the highest level. I don't think it was that hard of a decision for me.
And then just the opportunity to play a little bit more Mike, was that attractive to you just with Drew White deep in the program?
Yeah, you know, Drew's been a big time mentor and, you know, good friend for me, and he's taught me a lot over the years. But it'll be nice to finally step into, you know, a starting role this year. You know, I'm still not there yet officially, but I have a lot of work to do. But, you know, that's definitely the goal for this upcoming season.
And then where do you want to improve your game the most over the next 8 months?
Yeah, so my focus is, you know, just becoming a pro. I graduated from college, so, you know, kind of academics first, football second, kind of now flips. So I'm really focused on, you know, becoming an overall better athlete with sleep, nutrition, strength. Just kind of focused and be very intentional, getting in film a little bit extra, and, you know, kind of learning the game a little bit more.
And then off topic a little bit, I guess, how was skydiving out in Hawaii?
It was great, 10 out of 10, highly recommend.
Well, you mentioned that bigger role you're taking on this year. That comes with a little bit of added pressure, but I know that you're the type of guy who's going to embrace that. How excited are you for this bigger role as you head into the season?
You know, I'm excited for it. I don't really feel pressure at all with it. I've already played a lot of football in the past 3 years here. So, you know, I've been preparing for this my whole life, essentially. So I'm kind of ready to step up into the moment.
You mentioned the Fiesta Bowl and how it left kind of a sour taste in your mouth. I know that you'll probably be speaking for a lot of guys when you say this. Is that the biggest motivation and, you know, big chip on the shoulder as you head into this coming season?
It's definitely one of them. You know, we play a lot of good football teams this year, but, you know, it's not too easy for me to leave that in the past. So I'm definitely going to be carrying that with me.
You mentioned the good teams you're going to be playing this year. First team right out of the gate, Ohio State, a top 10 team. All eyes are going to be on that matchup. Talk to me about how you guys are preparing for such a tough matchup right out of the gate.
You know, we're a process-oriented program, so we're going to stick to our process, stick to what we do. We're going to focus on our preparation, and, you know, we're going to show up and perform at our best.
What are you most excited for year one of the official Marcus Freeman era?
You know, I'm excited to, you know, see the changes that are going to happen in the program. I think there's going to be a lot of change. I've already seen it. I think overall it's going to be a pretty fun experience.
What are some of the differences that you've noticed already as Marcus Freeman begins to kind of change this team from, you know, from the way the old coach had it to now his team?
You know, there's a lot of competition on the team, you know, friendly stuff. It's not always so much football, but, you know, he just really gets amongst the guys and has a lot of fun. So it's just kind of a refreshing energy.
Go to Zoom. Len Clark, go ahead.
Oh, a characteristic that was talked about a lot last season was communication. Can you talk about your communication, your rapport with JD Bertrand, Jack Kaiser, and then your goals in working with the next generation of linebackers at Notre Dame?
Yeah. So communication, Coach Freeze always pushed it on us. You know, communication basically equals success for us. It's winning the mental game pre-snap. So communication is one of our main focuses. You know, we go over in the linebacker room quite often. That's one of the things we got to push on these new guys. It'll be a really refreshing energy to have some new people in the linebacker room. We've had such a veteran room for the past couple of years that, you know, it's kind of nice to get some new guys in.
Tyler James, you're up next. Go ahead.
Oh, there's lots of curiosity from the outside of seeing who Notre Dame will name as the next defensive coordinator. And then obviously for you as a linebacker, who will coach you as a linebackers coach. I'm curious, what's your perspective from the inside and sort of waiting around and figuring out how that process is going to end out for you?
Yeah, you know, I just want a defensive coordinator so I can start studying the playbook. I haven't been able to do that yet, and I kind of want to get an idea of what we're going to be playing like next year. So for me, the sooner the better, but I know Coach Free's got to make the right decision. So I'm ready to wait, but I'm also ready to work.
Thanks, Bo.
All right, Bo, you're all set. Thanks.
Cool, perfect. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Bo.
A single other person laughing. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how many other yes. That was only fixing it.
Some art that has not yet been mastered.
Should send it there was a lot of. Hey guys, on Friday, how great is it today? Yeah.
TJ, what's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
Good. All right. Same as always, we're gonna do questions in the room first,
Yeah.
and then we'll do Zoom questions to finish up.
Sounds good.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, room going.
TJ, I guess what's kind of the focus in your game just coming back for another year at Notre Dame?
Yeah, honestly, just for me, it's just being consistent. Playing the ball, being a consistent tackler, and then also just being a leader. You know, I'm a 5th year now, SWAT captain. So for me, I really want to focus on being a leader and getting these young guys, you know, right, so we can win the national championship next year.
Speaking of that national championship, DJ, I know obviously the goal at Notre Dame always is national championship. What are some of the other goals, excuse me, that you guys and you yourself have for 2022?
For myself, honestly, just be the best player I can be. Like I said, be a leader for these guys. For the team, we want to win all the games, go 12-0. Like there's no doubt about it. We have no other intentions besides to win all these games. Graduate. I'm graduating in spring, so I'm excited about that. And really just be a leader and be that guy. You know what I mean? Just be one of the main players on this team and on this defense.
I know Ohio State first out of the gate next year. I don't know if you've ever played at the shoe, be an intimidating atmosphere. How are you guys preparing for one of the toughest places to play in college football?
Yeah, I'm honestly excited, more excited than intimidated. Like every atmosphere, we've played at some crazy atmospheres. So, I know it'll be crazy, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's going to be football. And also, like when we're on defense, they're going to be quiet because it's, offense is on the field for them. So I'm really not worried about the atmosphere as an intimidating factor. I'm really excited just to see what it's like and just soak it all in, honestly.
Got a lot of experience coming back on the defense. Was that kind of a discussion that you, as well as the more experienced players, had? Is like, all right, let's run it back. Let's run it back with all the experience we have. Let's try and get one.
Yeah, 100%. And like during the season, you kind of get a feel of like who's coming back and like who's planning on leaving or whatever. So like probably by the end of the year, I didn't know exactly who's coming back, but I kind of had a feel. So like I feel like we're coming back with a lot of confidence. Like everybody's played a lot of downs. Even the young guys have played a lot of football. So, I mean, we're real confident going into next season. It's probably the hardest schedule we've had since I've been here. So I'm excited.
All right, we'll go to Zoom. Tyler James, go ahead.
DJ, the Fiesta Bowl didn't go the way you guys wanted it, especially on defense. How did you sort of move past and process that loss?
Yeah, it's just about having a short memory, honestly. And, it sucks that it was the last game of the year. So, like, you can't have another game to, go back on it. But honestly, I'm excited, going forward. We're just going to evaluate the film and move forward after that.
And I asked Houston a similar question in terms of how does this safety group maybe feel different? And obviously replacing Kyle Hamilton is no easy task, but it seems like you guys have more depth in the room with experience and then bringing in a guy like Brandon Joseph to add to that group.
Yeah, like you said, we have more depth, but also we have a lot of experience coming back. Like all these guys have played, me, Houston, Xavier played a lot towards the end of the year. Ramon played a lot of football towards the end of the year. And then bringing in Brandon Joseph just adds, to the fire. So honestly, for me, I feel like we're the best safety group in the country.
Thanks.
Okay. DJ, you're all set. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Here, left. Like from your camera. Oh. Send that through. Take charge.
I don't know. Where you did it?
Oh, I'm up.
All right, Milk, you're up. Sorry about that. I didn't know you. All right, so we're gonna do questions in the room first and then finish up with questions on Zoom.
All right, sounds good.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, room, go ahead.
Just congrats on the scholarship, I guess.
Thank you.
I guess somebody said it went back even to last year, but I mean, what does that mean to you just to kind of earn that?
You know, it really means a lot to me. Coming in here as a preferred walkout, being a part of WAPU Nation has been great. And it's just been really nice to kind of pay my dad back with, well, and my mom with getting that full scholarship, and for them not having to worry about paying for school for me. It's just been a great feeling.
And then what's the transition been like for you guys with Brian Foley going to LSU and then Brian Mason stepping in?
Yeah, I met with Coach Mason yesterday because he was hired yesterday. Just kind of the basics, just getting to know each other. I really like Coach Mason. You know, I wish nothing but the best for Coach Polian and the entire LSU staff down there. But I'm really excited to work with Coach Mason.
I guess what were just your initial impressions of Coach Mason?
Just a really good guy. You know, I'm really excited. He's bringing a lot of energy to our room. Just meeting with him yesterday for the first time, I could tell how excited he is to come into here and really do great things here.
As a walk-on, I mean, you know, life can be a bit of an adventure when you start out. It's kind of a little bit uncertain, but now here you are with the scholarship and everything. I mean, does that just feel like a weight's been lifted off your back? Did you know all along, look, I'm going out here, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to get that scholarship?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think if anything, it's made me want to work even harder. Because coming in here as a walk-on, you definitely have to prove something. And then just because you get that check doesn't mean that the work stops. If anything, it means that you have to work harder because you have to keep proving to yourself and the coaching staff why you deserve the spot and a scholarship.
You know, for any of the other potential walk-ons that may come in this upcoming season, what's your message to them as far as how to, you know, get the coach's attention, keep the coach's attention, then show them why you belong?
Just definitely just embracing the grind. You know, coming here, working out here, it's not easy, but it is a lot of fun. And I really enjoy my time, just really enjoying it, learning a lot from the leaders. And you can tell pretty quick who the leaders are. You know, when I came in here, Tyler Newsom, he was a leader on our team and in our position room, and just learning what he would do on a day-to-day basis, but really just embracing the grind and just keeping your head down and just showing why you belong.
Any other questions in here? We'll go to Zoom. Tyler James, go ahead.
Hey, Michael, you guys are bringing in some transfers to the specialist group with Blake and John. I'm curious, what does that add to the specialist unit, knowing that you guys have some experience and then you have some talented young players coming in as well?
I think it adds a lot. I think getting some experience in our room is great. It's really going to push our younger guys to compete. You know, there are open spots in our room, and I think having the experience along with the young guys, I think it's going to be great competition. I'm just excited to watch, and I think a lot of guys are going to learn from each other. I think the older guys are going to learn from the younger guys about what it's like being here, and I think the younger guys are going to learn from the older guys about what it's like playing at this level.
Do you feel like that's a progression, whereas maybe at some points during your time in Notre Dame it was like, okay, these are the starters, and then there's not necessarily guys challenging them, whereas maybe there's more of an honest competition moving forward?
I think competition is good. You know, it is. Let's see. I think bringing the competition is going to be interesting. You know, during my past year, it's always been set starters basically. But I think bringing this competition, it should be a lot of fun for these guys to go out there and compete, because everyone loves to compete, especially at this level. Doesn't matter what position you are, everyone just loves to go out there and compete. So I think it'll be a lot of fun in the spring and in the fall. So definitely really excited about that.
Thank you.
Nope, you're all set. You can
All
have
right.
the kitty right now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a good weekend.
Thank you too. Work.
Like, we're gonna do kind of a little hybrid here, so we're gonna have questions in the room first. You can
Okay.
look up at everybody as they're asking their questions,
Okay.
and then we'll finish up with questions on Zoom.
Awesome.
Ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alright, Room, go ahead.
Like, I know when we talked, when you committed, like you said, the facilities and everything were a big part of your decision. I guess, how's that transition and what have you kind of seen from those your first ones up?
Yeah, I mean, after a week of workouts and getting kind of into the flow of things and getting on a roll with the team, it's just what I expected them to be. This big of a program. I mean, everything here is nice, and that's why people are here. I mean, that's why big time people come, and that's how you find success. But I mean, I can't ask for much more than this.
And then I guess how were your first couple of workouts with Coach Bayless?
Yeah, going good. I'm sure they're working us into it. I've heard a lot of things about his workouts. So interested to see and kind of get going and get into the swing of things. And spring workouts are they're in a league of its own. So we'll get working on it.
And then what were your kind of first impressions of Coach Mason?
Coach Mason is great. I know a lot of obviously I haven't had a whole lot of time with them. They've been on the road recruiting. But I know a lot of the guys. I know a lot of the guys from Cincinnati that he has coached before, and they've said nothing but good things about him. And if you look at his track record statistically wise, it's impressive. And so I'm sure I haven't been on a practice field with him yet, but it's you don't have that kind of success and have those things said about you unless you're a great coach, a great guy. So excited to get to work with him.
A lot of successful specialists have come through here. What are some of your goals heading into next
I
season?
mean, obviously to be one of them. I'm going through, and I actually got to meet John Doerr the other day, and actually spoke with Newsom the other day as well. And so hearing those names, those kind of household names in the kicking industry, I guess. So I mean, everybody that came through, not just specialists. I mean, there's so many big name guys. All those guys put in the same amount of work, and they find success. So I guess I just want to be one of those guys.
Blake, you got a great resume, and obviously, you had your pick of the litter when it comes to schools. What was that final, deciding factor that pushed you over the edge and made you decide to come?
I mean, they didn't have to take a whole lot of pushing. I was in the portal. Notre Dame reached out, and it was over. I mean, how do you not want to be a part of this, be a part of the winning tradition, be a part of the school's tradition, everything that makes Notre Dame football the way it is. I mean, there's other schools that reached out, and however, when Notre Dame reaches out, it's kind of over with. So I'm where I want to be.
What kind of influence did Coach Freeman have in your decision to come here?
Well, I mean, you look at him, and you look at the way the team supports him, and the way he supports the team. There's a lot of energy around the program right now. There's a lot of energy, backed by him and thrown into the team. It's pretty adamant to see, that his leadership is, just from the top down. So great guy, great leader, great coach. Just a good dude.
First game of the season last year ended with pretty special play by Are you looking forward to those kind of moments?
Oh, yeah.
Getting to kick those game-winning field goals here.
Yeah. I mean, you just, like I said, kind of really the tradition of here, the history, you kind of live for those big moments as a kicker, especially myself. I know that I'd rather be in those situations. I want to be the guy out there. I want that pressure on my back, I guess I would say. So, looking forward to those opportunities. Hopefully we're beating teams good enough where I don't need to game winner field goals, but yeah, I mean, I can't wait to, step on that field in the gold helmet for sure.
All right, we're gonna go to Zoom. Len Clark, you're up first. Go ahead.
Blake, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. First, as a student athlete, what your academic goals are coming into the University of Notre Dame. And then secondly, kickers are a creature of habit. Could you kind of describe your kicking rituals and what goes through your mind as you're ready to go out there and kick the football?
Well, from Arkansas State, I got my business administration undergrad degree in 3 years. I was able to finish my master's, my MBA, this past December. So I got kind of taking advantage of this 6th year. I'm in classes already. I'm in the non-degree seeking program. So I'm taking classes, and I'm actually in Notre Dame history class. That's kind of cool to learn a lot about the school. But I'm taking classes, and I'm ready to play some football.
And what about the kicking rituals and?
It's I mean, I have my things. I do a little, visualization pregame. I have my processes pregame. I warm up. Your steps. I mean, it all kind of makes you who you are. But I have mine, and like you said, they're kind of a creature of habit, and you try to stay as consistent as you can with them.
And in your Notre Dame history class, what's the one thing you learned about Notre Dame so far that?
Well, I've actually only been to one day, but I've been here, a quick turnaround. But the one day we learned about saints and how basically how the school moved up from Notre Dame, and how the saints and everybody came to South Bend. So it was an interesting day.
Thank you.
All right, Mitchell Gladstone, you're up next. Go ahead.
How's it going, Blake?
How we doing, Mitchell?
So I guess you always talked about at Arkansas State what that place meant to you. I guess I know you took a little bit of time after the season. Sort of, what was that process in deciding that you wanted to go take the jump somewhere else for this 6th year?
Well, I mean, obviously it was a tough decision. After I entered the portal and packing up my locker, saying goodbye to the coaches. It was a full day's process. I went through. I wanted to make sure I thanked all the coaches, equipment managers, trainers, strength staff. I actually went over to the athletic department and spoke to Tom Bowen, the athletic director, Amy Holt, Mr. Carroll, Jerry Scott. I wanted to make sure and go through and thank everybody for the time that they gave me, the support they gave me, and everything that they did for me at my time at Arkansas State. Because without any of them, I don't think I'd be in the place I am today. But it was a crazy, couple of days of the process. I felt like I wanted to enter the portal to kind of explore my options. Over my 5 years of playing and some of the success that I had, I figured that there had to be some opportunities out there. And so when I entered the portal, and once Notre Dame reached out, it was kind of a too good to be true moment. So it's been an awesome last couple of weeks. I'm glad to be where I am today.
When you think about, I mean, I know you sort of talked about this, going through your Arkansas State career. I mean, did you always sort of envision an opportunity like this eventually opening up? And how much were you thinking about that, especially this last year, knowing, okay, I've got an extra year, maybe there will be an opportunity down the line. And then obviously, like you said, once this opportunity opened up, it was sort of a done deal.
Through my last 5 years there, the plan was to never leave until I believe 2020. I didn't even have the opportunity or a 6th year or any of that stuff. So throughout last year, my whole plan, I was focused on the season. It was never in my mind at any point during the season that I was wanting to leave. All through last year, I was completely bought in under Coach Jones and Coach Bull as our special teams coordinator to do my best and go out there and execute for the guys on the team. So I guess it was never on my mind throughout the season. I was focused through the whole time. Being at home over break, talking to my parents, talking to my family, and some kicking coaches. We made the decision to enter the portal.
All right, Tyler James, you're up next. Go ahead, Tyler.
Blake, you've had a couple seasons where your field goal percentage was in the 60% range or in the 60s, not near 60, but and then you had a couple of seasons in the 80% range. What do you describe the difference between that, and what is the key to getting yourself in that 80% range? How do you make sure that you are on the higher end of that in your one season here at Notre Dame?
Yeah, and I've had up to years, and I've had years that I'm not as happy with. As my freshman year as a walk-on, I had a lot of learning to do, and I did, and I kind of bounced back. Going into the COVID year, it was a weird year. We really didn't have spring ball. We missed out on a lot of the preparation that leads to having success. So those all played factors. But at the end of the day, I got to go out there and get it done. And so I'm here with the strength staff, with the coaches. It all it comes down to is getting reps, finding confidence with the guys, and knowing that I'm gonna go out there and have success.
And at Notre Dame now, you're in a position where there's 2 scholarship kickers, there's 2 scholarship long snappers. There's maybe a chance for 2 scholarship punters. What is it like to see a specialist group that is so I guess, invested in terms of scholarships, but to have that competitive nature in the specialist group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every day is a competition. I don't, by no means do I expect to just walk in and be the guy. You have to earn those things. You have to earn that gold helmet. You have to earn the, step on the field. But after meeting with the guys, it's adamant that, it's going to be a competition this spring and this fall camp going into the season. So I'm just ready to go out there and show what I can do.
Thanks, Blake.
Like you're all set. Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Titans just activated Derrick Henry.
There's no way he's 100%.
I'm gonna stuff you have like a most
Can I make a recommendation for like when you get selected here? Davis is coming. It is expensive, but it's very much worth it. Really. I like how you put that in your notes. I did the same stuff. Signature. Oh, by the way, there's also a piece of this. That's what you're great. It's very. Saying that when I brought it back, I said, we're freezing.
It says.
This is.
I agree with anything.
Okay. Oh, it's the best pizza place on across. It's caramelized cheese. Oh, come on. Yeah. You have a piece of fruit that goes, yeah, I like deep dish guys. I don't like that. Yeah, well, that would be good for us. It's not my favorite. I was like, maybe lied, so you left it on.
I didn't really have questions.
Jared, what's up?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. Do, as always, questions in the room first, and then questions on Zoom to finish up. So you ready?
Yep.
Jared, I guess how much did you lean on guys like Liam, Tommy, and Rob to kind of walk you through your decision?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much talked to all those guys. I even talked to Nick Martin as well, just asking, what their experience was coming back for a fifth year. I mean, pretty much the general consensus was that coming back for fifth year will only help you get better. Really, I mean, for me, a big concern was risk of injury, of course, because I had a serious one the year before. But I mean, put it in perspective that, I mean, it's such a small, freak thing that happened that, I mean, it's really not that, really not that big of a deal. So once I reached, kind of reassured me and kind of think about all, other great O linemen that have come back for a fifth year here, I kind of knew that was the best thing for me to do.
And then what part of your game do you kind of want to focus on this year?
I think just being more consistent, like a dominant player on a consistent basis. I think I showed flashes of that and had it, but I think just doing it all the time now and kind of reinforcing that in the other guys in the group and the rest of the offense. That's like the next step I need to take.
And then there's a couple early enrollees on campus now. I guess obviously it's been a couple weeks, but what have you kind of seen from them so far?
And for them, they come in. I mean, they're kind of quiet right now, so they don't really know much about us, or we don't know much about them. But they come in, they work really hard, they take the coaching well, and they come in just the right mindset and attitude. And that's that's the only thing you can ask for. Guys come in, early January. It's a hard transition for them, but they embrace it and do a good job.
Jared, how big of a factor was Coach Freeman in your decision to come back?
Yeah, I mean, talking to Coach Freeman, honestly, love him. He's a great guy, and super personal. He's cares for all of us. Not just our what we do on the field, but also off of it. So be on the work with him another year and see what things change or what he does during spring and summer workouts and fall camp through the season. It's really exciting. Something that I'm proud to be a part of.
How excited are you for the first full year where Marcus Farron will be the head coach of Notre Dame football?
I'm pumped. I mean, I think he's doing some great things for us. I think he has a lot of excitement around the program. And he brings the juice every single day. Whether it's at workouts, watching us, or practice, things like that. So I'm excited.
A lot of experience coming back on this Notre Dame team. I think some of the previous players who have spoken, they have pretty much agreed that there's been a consensus between players who said, let's run it back. Were you pretty much involved in that same conversation and kind of getting those players to come back and, hey, let's try and go get one this year?
I don't really talk to those guys a ton, honestly. I really didn't make my decision until probably like 2 days before classes started because I really didn't know. But once I saw those other guys starting to come back, I'm like, hey, I'd love, come back, Foskey, Braden, the twins, all those guys that decided to come back for another year. I mean, be able to work with them it's really exciting. We have a lot of experience and a lot of good leadership.
We'll go to Zoom. Len Clark, go ahead.
Jarrett, if you can, talk about the dynamic of the offensive line as opposed to last season, the optimism with the upcoming season and new coaches.
Yeah, I think with this group, I mean, we lost Kane, who's a great guy, but we have, a lot of experience coming back. I mean, Blake, Joe, Mike, Zeke, Andrew, all those guys, Josh, all those guys come back with experience. It's not a young group anymore. These guys have been able to play, some big time games. So we're gonna be counting on them. They're gonna start, mature, being leaders, things like that. So I mean, it's exciting to have all those guys and really just build another year, bonding with them on and off the field.
Tyler James, go ahead.
Jarrett, how much do you think the Fiesta Bowl loss will motivate you guys in these winter workouts?
Yeah, I mean, I know for myself personally, it's, still disappointed about the outcome of that. I mean, being in the situation, of 21, it's extremely disappointing, seeing the guys after that, it's devastating for some of us. But I mean, for us, we know we have to work that much harder, to get where we want to be and finish as champions like Coach Freeman talks about.
All right, Jarrett, you're all set.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it. Avery's up next. He only has a couple minutes, so he has to get to class, so we'll kind of keep it short. Avery, you good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Room. Go right ahead.
I guess how's rehab and everything kind of going for you right now?
I think everything's going well. I think I'm on a good pace to be back. The goal is to be back for Ohio State week 1. So I think I'm on a great pace to be there. Not only be there, but have an opportunity to work on my game going into that. So.
And then as a quarterback, former quarterback, and then seeing quarterbacks progress through your time at Notre Dame, I guess, what did you see from Tyler Buckner over his freshman year?
Over just from his freshman year, I think we all see his potential and the ability that he could produce in the game and the things that he could do, the plays that he could make. And I've seen more so than you have in practices where you see the true, we compete every single day. And so you see him in every single situation, some of the things, and he's very, very talented and he has a tremendous amount of upside. And I think the competition will bring even more out of him, from this spring. So going into the season, whoever wins the job, I think is going to be the right guy. So.
And then, I mean, his legacy talking about a lot, but what does he do well? Just throwing the ball.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel through the season we more so utilized his legs than his arm, and we didn't really shine it. I think you can see it in a few spurts on a few passes, but that kind of goes back to the comment about practice. You see those throws, and he's kind of that new wave of quarterback. I don't want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but the ability to throw off target and off body or everything's not going and still make an accurate throw. The confidence that he can make those type of throws, even if some of them are ill-advised, you learn a lot. Most of these throws I'm talking about are in practice, so not all of them go well, but you see the potential, you see his the moxie, the mindset of, I can make that throw, and all of those are good things. So.
Avery, how important was Coach Freeman to your decision to come back?
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty important. I think that for the longest I was in a daze, and even when he got announced as the coach, I was still clouded in a judgment because I honestly just didn't know what to do, what the next step was gonna be, what it should be, what the best move is. But I can't say that being around the team and the energy and the vibe and just the energy of the building, it just kind of shifted a little bit. And then I'm watching practices, and the competitive aspects of practice is just different. And a lot of things are different, and I think they were different in a good way. So I think it definitely played a role. 100% played a role in me coming back.
Every player that I've asked some of the differences about, the last coach, Marcus Freeman, they seem to smile and just talk about the energy, the positive energy that he brings in. You attest to that? Is that correct or incorrect?
100% correct. And I think more so than our last coach is that he's a player's coach, and he wants to be involved with the players. He's on the field, he's asking questions, he's coaching and things like that, but also the energy he brings, it's hard to explain and put words on it, but it's definitely felt.
All right, you all set, Avery?
Cool, thank you.
Josh, ready to go if you are? Cool. We'll do questions in the room first, and look up at them as they're asking, and then we'll finish Zoom.
Great, thank you. How you guys doing?
Are you Josh?
Good, thanks.
Room, go
Enjoy
ahead.
the weather?
Yeah, it's great. I live for this. I don't sweat as much.
Josh, what kind of went into your decision to just return for a 6-year?
Yeah. A lot of the points I mentioned last time we had this conversation was like, I want to come back. I want to help Notre Dame win. I want to become a better version of myself and win the Joe Moore Award. And a lot of the emphasis is on how can I help these young guys coming in and develop, just like Hunter Bivin and Michael Vinson and Quentin Nelson did for me when I was coming in. And it's like, if I have another year where I can do that and help guys become Notre Dame men, then it's definitely attractive to come back.
You mentioned the young guys. How do you kind of speed up the process for the early enrollees and kind of mentor them over the next couple months?
I don't think we need to speed up the process. I think the process itself is a good pace with a new coach coming in. And then the culture that we have, the brotherhood that we have, it's very welcoming to these new early enrollees, and that they understand that, you know, it's going to take some time. It's going to be an adjustment. They took high school classes 3 weeks ago, and now they're sitting in a seminar with me. So it's like, it's going to be an adjustment, but they're built for it. And you know, once we start football, it's going to be about make things simple, slow your mind down, get the coaching points, and make adjustments.
You mentioned the brotherhood on the offensive line. Do you feel like that's something that kind of I don't want to say lost, but not emphasized as much over the last couple of years, and potentially that is going to be an emphasis moving forward?
I wouldn't say that it was lost or that it wasn't an emphasis at all. I would even say that this past year, because we had so many different starting units and different guys starting, it brought us all together. I think someone said upstairs we have like 8 different starting rotations out there. And so when you can all play together on the field and be together off the field, it helps us come together even more. And we know that we can rely on each other, we can trust each other. We're able to communicate and be honest and forthright with the guys. And, you know, it helps with the self-coaching too. So when we do drills, it's like, you know, we've all been through it together. And I think it builds our brotherhood even more.
Josh, you've already played such a big role on this team, both, you know, with on-field contributions, off-field contributions. How do you take that next step this upcoming year and play an even bigger role for this team?
Yeah, you gotta be aware before you can enhance. So having some awareness, it's like, I think I understand the game of football pretty well. I'm just doing the game and the scheme and stuff. So now it's okay, how do I clean up my technique so that I can execute at the highest level? I can be the best version of myself. So, you know, this next year, a lot of it's going to be cleaning up my technique, working with these younger guys, making sure that as a unit we're becoming better so we can help Notre Dame win.
I know after missing the Fiesta Bowl, are you just chomping at the bit to not only get back out on the field, but with September 3rd coming up in I think 225 days or something like that.
Is that?
You were just chomping at the bit to get back out on the field. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play football. That's why I do this. It's because I love football and I love being able to play next to my brothers. So, I mean, it was unfortunate that I could not finish the season out the way I wanted to, but you know, I have another opportunity coming up. I have another great opportunity through sprint ball and then all the drills that we're going to be doing this in winter conditioning to get better. And like, I don't want to think ahead to 252 or whatever the day count is. It's what can I do today to get better? You know, I still got 11 more hours a day to get better. So, you know, whatever I can do, I'm gonna go back in the treatment room. I'm gonna go meet with Coach Bayless, see what else I can get done, so that, you know, if I do that every day now for those 252 days, mentally, physically, I'll be prepared to dominate and play well.
What are some of your goals for this upcoming season?
I think the most important is like our unit goals. Help Notre Dame win, be the best version of ourselves, and win the Joe Moore Award. And if I really focus on that, then any personal goals that really aren't as important as the unit goals are going to fall into place. And if my mindset really is just like help Notre Dame win, be the best version of myself each day, which is helping other people, and then win the Joe Moore Award. If I have that in mind, then everything will fall in place.
All right, Tyler James on Zoom is next. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Josh, did who you would be coached by on the offensive line this coming season impact your decision in any way?
I did not know who my new position coach would be until after I decided that I would be returning. A lot of my decisions went into coming back to help Notre Dame win and help these young guys coming in and be a better version of myself, be a better football player. And when I came here in 2017, and I committed in 2014, I believe, I didn't commit to a coach. So why would I commit to a 6-year for a coach? You know, a lot of it is like the Notre Dame brand and what we can accomplish with the brotherhood here. And that hasn't changed in my 5 years going on 6.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, Josh, you're all set. Thanks, man.
Great. Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
Brandon, how we doing?
Man, you sure? Come on now. I had to say it at the game. You so bold. What the heck? I had to say it. Maybe Purdue. Maybe. My parents went to Purdue. So.
All right, we'll do questions in the room first. Room, go ahead.
Brandon, the Notre Dame staff has kind of gotten a little bit younger. Do you think that's good, just energy wise for Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, for recruiting, I could see how that could play dividends. I'm not really sure for me at least, I didn't really care. I think it's more like football knowledge. I think you see someone like Coach Reese, who's, a great offensive mind, but then you look at Andy Reid and he's a great offensive mind. He's old as hell. So I don't know if it really matters too much, but I could see how it matters for recruiting.
And then what were a couple factors just in your decision to return for a year?
Yeah, I think there's a sense of unfinished business, as well as the ability to, get my master's paid for. So I think the combination of those made it a very sensible choice.
And then I asked Avery, because you guys have seen several quarterbacks come through here. I mean, what are a few telling about their strengths that you've seen play out through his first year?
He's definitely got confidence on the field. I think that's the biggest indicator of a good player when they're young. He's definitely the best runner I've had as a quarterback in college. And I think, it wasn't showcased as well, but he's got a good arm. And I think as time goes on, he'll be able to make more smarter decisions as a passer. And that kind of comes to just experience. I mean, quarterback's the hardest position. There's a lot going on. So I think he's going to, improve vastly.
How much of a factor was Coach Freeman in your decision to come back?
I'm not really sure. I think I was going to come back probably like when I made the choice. I don't know if he played a huge part, but I think it's definitely a bonus because I think the program's going in a positive direction. So I'd say, yeah, like it helped. Yeah.
Now that you have been with Coach Freeman for a couple of months now, give me some of your impressions. I know, you got the first impression, but now that you guys work together, you guys played the game together. Well, he coached it, you played it. Give me some of your first impressions of Coach Freeman.
I'd say the main thing is just this overwhelming push to be just over competitive. I think he's just doing a lot of things, whether it be in the weight room or practice or just in any aspect of life. He's just trying to create this competitive mindset in us. So when you have to flick the light on, you're ready and you're prepared. And, I've definitely enjoyed that, and it makes things fun and interesting. And I think especially since this is going to be my 5th year, it's definitely nice to have a little change because it's new. But yeah, I think it's been very fun. I'm very excited to see how it plays out.
I was asking players about his, his first full season, but I guess technically, the season doesn't start until September 3rd. You want to be right down to it. What are you expecting out of Coach Freeman's off-season plan that maybe was different from the past, if it is going to be different?
Tough question. I mean, kind of just, a little bit of what I just said. I think the practice schedule, just in itself, a little shorter, but higher intensity. I think it's more good on good, less, ones versus threes to, give you certain looks that are scripted. I think that allows the ability to, if you're playing well, there's more mobility within the depth chart. So I think you might see a bit more, aggressiveness and a little more competitiveness within. But on top of that, I think there's definitely a huge emphasis on the team itself. I feel like it's going to make us closer. So I think you'll see a tighter and more competitive team come fall.
I know you live for big games. You got a really, really big one right off the gate, right out of the gate against Ohio State. Talking about, are you excited? Are you a little nervous to go to the shoe in front of 80 to 100,000 Ohioans who want to see you guys fail?
I mean, I could care less. It's a great team. It's going to be a great game. I'm very excited. I could care less who they are, where we play. I think no matter who it is, I think we have a great chance. And maybe if I was a freshman or sophomore, I'd be a bit more nervous, but I kind of know what to expect. And I think anyone who grew up watching football has always wanted to play at Ohio State. So I think it's a privilege to be able to play at such a great place. So I think more than anything, I'm just excited to get my chance and let Notre Dame get their chance.
As one of the more experienced players on the team, I was talking to some of the other guys about the conversations that went into their decision to return back. Were you involved in kind of the group conversations as to kind of run it back and try and get a national championship?
No, I mean I heard it, but I don't believe in group decisions.
For sure.
I did what was best for me, and being here was what was best for me.
And speaking of what's best for you, what do you feel like was best for you in making that decision to come back?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned earlier, the ability to get my master's, the ability to become a better technician on the field, and I think I definitely got close with a lot of the freshmen. So I think being that leader and kind of being what Chris Fink was to me for them, I think would definitely be a huge honor. And the way I look at Chris is hopefully at the end of this year, I'd like for them to look at me that way. I think that'd be a huge blessing.
Special shout out to the Silver Fox.
All right, we're gonna go to Zoom. Tyler James, go ahead.
Braden, last season, the wide receiver room had some bad luck with some guys getting injuries. So the depth of the unit maybe didn't show as much as it could. What sort of potential do you feel like this group has going into next season if everyone can get healthy and the amount of guys you have there that can contribute?
Yeah, I think between me, AD, Joe, JT, Dion, Zoe, Matt, I haven't seen him, but Tobias,
Right.
I think phenomenal. I'm very excited. I think anytime you see a coach, throw the ball in such a high level game 68 times when you're not a pass heavy offense, shows there's belief and commitment in the group. So I'm excited. I think we've taken strides this past year, and I think this next year you'll see even more.
How tired were you at the end of that Fiesta Bowl?
I was exhausted.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Braden, you're all set. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.